Hi, I'm Travis Merrill, and for my first digital artist in residence video, I want to talk about a fundamental challenge in string playing that can be best addressed with a very simple demonstration. What do I mean by that? Well, let's think about the actions that we perform on a string instrument, and let's compare them to our friends that are pianists. Now, a pianist has to do many more actions with their hands than we do, but those actions are fundamentally very similar, right? They're lifting and dropping fingers, sometimes holding fingers down. In our instrument, the kinds of actions that we're performing are very different, right, between fingering and bowing. And the fundamental challenge that exists is that our arms and our hands really want to influence each other. They want to do the same thing, right? So if I'm playing forte in the bow, what does my left hand want to do? It automatically wants to press harder, even though you need a minuscule amount of more pressure in order to stop the string when playing forte than when playing piano. So how do we develop an independence of the two sides of our body so that they don't become codependent? Well, let's start with the easy answers first. The easy ones, if you haven't done these before, are to just work on open string patterns for anything that you're playing. If you're playing a passage, reduce it to the open strings and just play open strings, or just work on the left hand by itself and work on the articulation and all that kind of stuff. Say you've done that. A more challenging and a more nuanced and more controlled version of those kinds of exercises are what I want to talk about in my next two videos. So the video today, I'm going to focus on working on the left-hand side of things, and in the next video, I'll talk about ways that you can work on the right-hand part of this equation. So for the left hand, we're going to work on some exercises called light touch exercises. And these are exercises that I learned from Hans-Jørgen Jensen, Minna Chung's excellent book, Cello Mind. There's also a Violin Mind that you can check out. And what I love about these exercises, they work on harmonics, and they develop the hand's ability not only to play much lighter while the bow is playing into the string, but I think more importantly, you also develop the hand's ability to always release. You're going between harmonics and regular pressure, and that constant release between more pressure and less pressure really develops a sensitivity in the hands that will come through when you have a performance and you feel your hands start to use more pressure than it needs. You've worked on learning how to release that pressure, and you're able to do it consciously. Let's get started. So that's the basic exercise. You're just alternating harmonics and normal pressure notes. And over time, I think you'll notice that your general left-hand pressure tends to decrease, but also you just have this great ability to release tension when you start to feel it in your left hand. Practicing releasing is really, I think, the main benefit of this kind of practice. You can try this exercise on different strings. You can try it with different orders of notes. You can try it separate and slurred. All of those variations are beneficial. I also encourage you to try this kind of practice in passage work. So if you have something that's really tricky for the left hand, practice at regular intervals releasing to harmonic pressure, and I think you'll notice after a while that your left hand starts to feel a little better. I hope you'll stick around for next week's video when I'll talk about a similar kind of exercise we can do for the bow, so we can play with a great sound with the minimum amount of effort possible. See you next time.